Hey everybody, and welcome to another edition of Craft Brewed Sports. I am Mike. We have an awesome show for you tonight. Super excited to get into all of the news. Before we do that, let's introduce who's hanging out with us tonight. As always, my man Mookie joining me. Drew, how you feeling tonight?
What's up, y'all?
Great to hear from you, man. Fantastic jersey that everybody's about to see here in 1 second. Big news on the show. We're just going to get it right out there. We have somebody returning to the show. I am beyond excited. The fans have been asking for this person. It has been way too long. Joe, back in the building. Joe, how you feeling tonight, man?
Hello.
As always,
telegraphed that so hard.
Also, Scott's here. This is Craft Brewed Sports. We are going to get into a ton tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. Be sure to share out the show. Let your friends hear it. I don't know if we're on 12 Ounce Sports. I think there's some issues there. But we apologize to 12 Ounce Sports if we're not on. But if we are, shout out 12 Ounce Sports. Tons to get to tonight. Let's get right into let's say hi to Scott. Scott, how you doing, man?
Hey, Twitter world. It's yours truly. The COVID did get me. I just stopped crying after the Super Bowl. Doing all right, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's been we haven't even been able to talk to you since your Niners went down. Like that was the week. There's a lot of conspiracy theories that this whole thing has been you saying you didn't want to face the music of the Niners losing.
Well, Niners lost. Baseball's been on indefinite delay, and Jordan got pushed up. So that's the only thing that got me out of hiding. Here I am. There's a lot of tears, a lot of lonely nights, but I made it back.
Well, good. We're glad to have you back, man. Loudbeard saying welcome back, Scott. Greg saying he's excited to see Joe, that I buried the lead. Scott wants to know bigger surprise tonight, Scott or Joe back in the virtual speakeasy. I think Joe's got to be the bigger surprise on this one because Joe's been around. Like I was like, Joe, you want to get on? I don't know. Maybe we'll see. Joe, how are you without lacrosse, man? Are you doing all right?
You know, getting through it.
All right, bud.
Like everyone.
A lot of tape to watch, though, right? A lot of scouting, a lot of tape to watch.
A lot of scouting, yeah. Total overthinking.
It sounds like you've just been boozing up this entire time.
Well, you know.
Some things never change. Let's get right into this beer this week so that we can get into the show. Because there's actually, for no sports, there's a ton to get to again. Once again, we've got a ton to get to. So let's talk about this beer. This is First Pour, as always, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. All you got to do, use the link, dugoutmugs.online/craft. You could get 10% off your entire order. Baseball might not be here, but you can still drink out of a bat like we do here on the show. Except for Joe, who's just pounded Bud Light straight from the can.
Those are tall bats, right?
Oh, that was Labatt?
Labatt,
All right, that's fair enough. Use the link, dugoutmugs.online/craft, 10% off your entire order. This week's beer, I'm pretty sure I said it. Yes, I did set it up. Good. This week's beer that we are drinking is Daaang IPA. This is from Zipline Brewing Company in Lincoln, Nebraska. 7.6% ABV brew. Here's what Tavor had to say about this one. It's dank, it's tangy, and it's exactly what Joe would like, a hoppy West Coast style IPA. 3.96 caps on Untapped. Just a super dank brew. I went on a little COVID drop off to Drew's place, dropped him off one of these, and Scott came and picked one up too. So, boys, what are you thinking of this one?
Dang!
It's solid. It's solid. Joe, I'm sorry, man. I ain't gonna have any left over to share. I probably wouldn't anyways, but you know, it's solid beer right here.
It's all right.
It is. This is what Dad Pops should be. This is exactly what Dad Pops should be.
Dad Pops, are those still a thing?
No, they're not.
I thought COVID got them.
I was like, how are Dad Pops not like double down a thing?
They
You know
really
what I mean?
should
I'm
be.
surprised you guys aren't developing severe cirrhosis right now, being locked at home with your kids all day.
Oh, bro, it's full on. I think I need to go to meetings at this point.
And Matt, we weren't breaking quarantine. These were contactless deliveries. Okay, thank you very much. Shit.
All right.
I just thought necessary operations stayed open, so that counts.
That's true too.
This is essential. This is essential. Beer for the show is essential. We will see how Daaang holds up, but I guarantee you we're going to love this one by the end of this. First pour, as always, brought to you by Dugout Mugs. Again, dugoutmugs.online/craft. Get 10% off that order. Real quick. Okay, thank you. Scott, what have you been up to, man?
Nothing. Whole lot of nothing. I mean, you guys know there's been no sports going on, so been playing video games with the kids, working in the middle of the night as per usual while you guys are all sleeping. I haven't gotten too much into the rewatching the old games. That's really not my thing. Although I say that, and I've watched the Ultimate Jordan DVD a billion times, which is just old games. But I haven't really been into watching the old stuff, so it's just been cruising the internet and praying for sports to come back in some way, shape, or form.
Now I need to know, when was the last time any of the rest of you watched a DVD?
It's been a long time. I don't normally go DVD.
I respect staying true, Scott. DVD. I mean, like we dug up actually our VHSs last weekend, trying to figure out how to make that shit work. So I respect the DVD.
Yeah, I mean, the only reason I watch it is because it's the only version I have is the DVD, and I have a player that can read it. If I had to do extra work to like get out a DVD player, I wouldn't bother. But
nah,
Joe, classic Joe.
Joe, what have you been doing? How have you been holding up?
I work a lot more than I used to. So there's that. More people have problems now that they have to go through computers and stuff. I don't know.
I'm going to tell everybody, I had told Joe, like when this first came out and we weren't sure if this was like that, if it was a big thing or not. I was like, Joe, are you still, now that lacrosse is canceled, are you going to come? And he was like, yeah, nah, I'm going to hold up in my apartment bubble. He was ahead of the curve, literally. He was literally just like, nah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, it was the first week when everybody was like, you can still do all this, this, and this. And I'm like, there ain't no way I'm going anywhere. I was like, I quarantined before it was a thing.
And Scott's
Joe's
done.
The original social distance.
Yeah. Joe was looking for an excuse.
I just told somebody that earlier. The whole being in the house all the time thing. This is actually a dream come true for me. I don't like leaving the house as is. So we've gotten our finances in order because we've saved so much money on things. COVID hasn't been all bad. That's all I'm gonna say.
Dude, we found so much shit that I thought we lost. That, I mean, I guess technically we lost it, but it's like in our house. That, like, if we would have just looked for it maybe like a while ago, I could have saved myself some money instead of buying power cords and shit. Like, it's been fantastic.
Well, Scott, Joe, I'm super pumped to have you guys back. It's not the same not being in the speakeasy.
You guys were too white while I was gone.
See, I said
it was super white
to Sherm right when he told me you were coming back. I was like, dude, we literally just got street cred again. This is fantastic.
I don't know about all that.
It's more street cred than what we had, right?
More
like a fraction of street cred.
Still something.
0, man.
It's true.
To not touch net, to touching the bottom of the net.
Hey, Blake has always said I'm his second favorite white guy on Craft Brewed Sports. And I think he's referring to Scott as number one. So I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped to have you guys back. Let's talk some draft, shall we? We had talked about it a little bit last week, and we were kind of making fun of the coaches and who's going to be the one that gets stuck in the potato and who's going to have the terrible Zoom background. But it was announced that Roger Goodell is going to be announcing the picks from his basement. Is that going to be like, I feel like I'm the guy who is never really that into the draft anyways, but now the draft is like must see TV, right? Like we have to tune into that to see Goodell from his basement, right?
Well, not even that. It's the only thing on.
That's a good point
new.
too. Yeah.
Have we punted on this extending it to a 7-day thing?
I mean, you know where I stand on that.
It's still
was that on the table?
Or Thursday to Saturday.
I had heard it mentioned by a reputable source at some point.
No,
like,
it was-
everybody knows my obsession with the draft, like my entire life. But I because the Niners didn't have an early first round pick until a couple of weeks ago, I didn't study anything. And the idea of Goodell sitting in his basement, shirtless, announcing the picks, I need guys to still come up and give him bro hugs somehow. Because I mean, what else is there? There's no point in having him there. But I'm less interested in the draft than any other point in my life. There's no sports, and I know it'll do gangbusters on ratings, but I have no interest in it.
That's shocking.
Sarah brings up the question, what kind of basement do you think Goodell has? Like creepy, or is it like tricked out theater style? He's got to have that tricked out basement, right? Like
it's going to be all clear. He's going to import a podium, and he'll just walk into frame again. Still, maybe he'll have like a boo noise that he'll play as he walks in.
Well, actually, I think the answer is both. He's got a creepy section in his basement, but he's going to have the camera set up in the glitzy part.
He's got a murder room, but then he's also got I could see Goodell setting up in like a Hugh Hefner smoking jacket and like posting up at the bar.
He's gonna forget that he's doing the draft and come back to the camera with a bloody apron on, like, oh shit, with the 32nd pick.
If he actually did that and tried to make like fun and wear like funny costumes every time, I think that would earn him more credit than just trying to be straight normal.
I would be way more a fan of Roger Goodell if he did something like that. Like if he goofed around during this whole thing, if he did like Tom Hanks SNL monologue in the kitchen type situation, like where he's going to pretend to be different characters, I'm all in. I'm all in.
Better he starts at the podium, then once it's done, he walks away, no pants.
I respect that. I mean, he's just living everyone else's life right now. Who puts on? Here's the thing, man. Like, what is the point of pants anymore?
I'm not wearing them.
Right? Why bother?
You already stood up. You already proved that you are, man. So you can't even pull that card.
Those are an optical illusion. I'm with green screen.
It's a virtual background, Mike. Come on, give us the program.
Greg from Sports Stand saying, I have to assume Andy Reid has a McDonald's in his basement like Richie Rich.
Oh, dude, we talked about this like a week or two ago. Like, Andy Reid went and bought himself a BBQ joint the minute he heard about any of this.
You guys can knock it all you want, but I remember watching that movie as a kid thinking that is one of the greatest things ever. If I'm ever that rich, I would totally have a McDonald's there.
Dude,
with just an employee staff there, just always be there.
There is no knocking
is it McDonald's? Or if we go any chain, because mine would be Taco Bell, hands down. If you boys
no doubt.
Okay, but so it would be McDonald's for you, Scott?
No. I mean, it would be Taco Bell, but I'm just saying, as a kid, I thought that the McDonald's thing was cool. Like, if we're just picking anything, sure.
Yeah,
I would pick something better like Taco Bell, but
yeah. Joe, what you got in your basement then?
If we're going fast food, it had to be Chick-fil-A.
Joe going with the Lord's chicken.
But they're closed on Sundays, Joe, and when you're hungover,
Not in my house.
not in my house.
Breaking news: Joe is God.
Well, what would be funny though is Joe picked the one where they're all sitting there, and no matter what, they're like, "My pleasure," and I would require them to say that no matter what it was. Could you imagine though if you had one in your house and you're like, "Man, I just got shitty service from the McDonald's that I installed. Like, this is messed up, man."
And then when they say "my pleasure," Joe, would you feedback? Thank you for your service. Shout out, Matt.
All right, so we got 2 Taco Bells, a Chick-fil-A. Man, I don't know what I'd put in the basement.
Don't say something stupid, Mike.
No, it would
It's
probably.
Mike, that's a given.
Here's
I'm
my
waiting for him
problem.
to be like a Beef O'Grady's or something.
No, here's my problem.
White Castle.
I need to avoid fast food. I'm trying to get svelte again. I'm trying to avoid the COVID-15, and it's having a fast food place in my basement isn't going to help that.
Oh, I'm going for the COVID-20. I don't even care. I tried to stave it off for the first couple of weeks, and I'm like, F it. I got time.
We're not
These
vacations
video games ain't gonna
canceled.
play
Screw it.
themselves.
Now it'd be Taco Bell, and the only thing we would have is cheesy gordita crunches. There wouldn't even be any other menu item. All you could get is cheesy gordita crunches.
I wouldn't go to your McDonald's. Or your Taco Bell.
Tyson saying we have too many hosts. 4 hosts is too many. We have to vote somebody off now.
Well, I'm good. I'm the only black representative, so
Joe's volunteering.
Joe's like, bye.
I think the Lone Star Show or whatever it is just came back from commercial break, right? Is that what it is, Joe?
Oh, it's been on.
Matt was like, Matt Barr today was like, I'm excited that Joe's coming back. I can't wait to see him just sit there and not talk during the whole show.
He's already talked more during this show than all the shows combined prior to this.
That you've been on, yes. Normally, if you're not on, Joe steps up and really comes in and brings some fire takes. But if you're on, he's just like, I'm just going to sit here and not say anything.
That's how I like my Joe.
Joe Hall also saying, can we vote Mike out? Of course, sure. Let's go ahead and vote me out, and good luck running everything, fellas.
I was just gonna say we can't vote Mike off because he's running this whole thing.
I am
That's
the essential.
only reason.
I'm the essential employee here. So
He made himself indisposable.
Well,
That's
I don't
Josh
have
Gator
talent. I don't have good takes. I had to do something to make myself worthwhile in the show, so I run this shit. That's how I do it.
And I went and messed it all up and made everybody realize I'm not needed, so fuck me.
I was gonna say, you're saying this like any of us have talent or takes. I mean, we show up, we drink beer, and hope it works out for basically an hour.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. JB saying it's weird to 1, see Joe constantly, and 2, hear him talk at all. Nothing but love for Joe on the chat stream. All right, let's. I feel
like this is gonna help out Joe's game though when
Joe
when
just
it comes around. Okay, and there goes that. I was just gonna say the next time he takes a trip to Memphis,
I'll go away.
No, flip that camera back on. We're not trying to give Skype any type of more free advertising than they're already getting.
By the way, Shitty, get at me about beer pong, dude. I figured it out. I know how to do virtual beer pong. Holler.
Oh, when you said that, I thought you meant just beer pong in general. I'm like, congratulations at figuring out how it works. Good for you.
It's hard. You know, I know you're supposed to get the ball in the cup, but it's a lot harder than you would think.
Guys, is this gonna really be the draft without people booing?
No, it's not the booing that I'm gonna miss. I'm gonna miss the old retired guy for one of these teams that you haven't heard of, and where some old black guy comes out there and gets everybody fired up and pissed off, and says something real snarky to one of the rival teams. That's what I'm gonna miss the most.
Or when it's like some terrible where it's like, here's a dog.
Oh, this is going real well, Mike. Let's just keep talking over each other and pausing awkwardly. Like every Zoom call ever right now.
Oh, you go. Can everybody mute, please? Can everybody mute?
That's what I was gonna say. How long till Roger Goodell forgets to take his ass off mute? He's sitting there talking in silence, and everyone's like, "Who is the one that's gonna get picked right here?"
No, even better. He forgets to silence himself, and he's like, "Yeah, these stupid motherfuckers don't buy anything. We could literally kill people on the field, and they'll still keep watching. Oh, hey guys, that's what I want."
And how much you want to bet the ratings are up next fall anyway, Scott?
Well, I mean, with everything, they're going to be. All the people who stopped watching because of kneeling are going to come right back. They're like, COVID brought me back, man.
Yeah, right.
You know, the kneeling really killed it for me, but COVID made it so that it's okay to watch the NFL again. Turns out I found out what's really important, and it's not kneeling. It's sports on television in whatever form they come.
Dude, if I'm betting on ping pong, yeah, I'll take whatever I can get at this point. I mean, shit, it's rough. It's rough out there.
Yeah, this is one of the few times that I'm glad I'm not a complete degenerate gambler. As much as I want to be, having to resort to bet on Belarus soccer or Korean baseball is not the way to be right now. That's struggle bust right there, Drew.
I mean, you got to do what you got to do, man.
Well, one football that we won't be watching anymore is the XFL. Unfortunately, this week the XFL folded. They shut down.
It started and ended before I got back. Ain't that a bitch? Son of a bitch, Vince. I wanted one full season, and you couldn't even give me more than 5 weeks.
And dude, you were about it too, weren't you?
We were all about it.
I was all in.
This whole show was on board with that one, and they shut down because of the coronavirus back in March, but they made it seem like they're coming back. They were like 2021 and beyond, we're gonna be here for you. And then they even went ahead and said that they're gonna keep paying the players and stuff. But this week they laid everybody off. They filed for bankruptcy. They still owe Bob Stoops millions and millions of dollars. They're in some big trouble financially, and it's done. There's no way the XFL is coming back, right? Is this it? Is it done?
don't know, man. It might come back in an altered form, or you might see some of the stuff show up. Like honestly, I loved watching the games. Some of the stuff they did was awesome, and like hearing the play calls was sweet. The accelerated play clock, but then the way they like slowed down the clock in the 2-minute window to create what they think like the comeback window or whatever they called it. Like there was some stuff in there that had legs. So I don't think it's dead forever. It's just gonna be a minute.
Ooh, I don't know. I mean,
I think it's done. It was shocking that they were able to pull off a second go round and rebrand it enough to get it out there the second time. But I just don't think that this is a viable thing anymore. Like both leagues have folded without finishing a season now. There isn't enough without a partnership with the NFL. I just don't think it's going to work. I think a standalone league, this is what we're going to get, is just they don't have the financial stability to be able to sustain themselves, no matter what good ideas. And how many of those good ideas that we see in the XFL that the NFL is just going to steal this fall anyway?
But this league was on track to do that. Like, I feel like this one hit a terrible set of circumstances. Like, without the coronavirus, XFL is probably still going strong and people are still tuning in regularly. Like, numbers were consistent for the XFL. So the appetite is there.
Though. I mean, in the short term, it wasn't going to be. I just don't know that long term it was going to matter. I think the COVID bought them an excuse out. I just don't buy that. If they really were viable and they really were able to keep things going, I don't think they would have filed for bankruptcy and laid everybody off.
Ooh, no. See, that's where I'm going to disagree completely. Like, you file for bankruptcy, now all of a sudden you don't have to pay anyone anything. And then you just go back and you file under a different LLC in Delaware and you're back in business. Like, that's just some bullshit financial engineering. I ain't even worried about that. Like, I think they showed that it could be viable. The thing that's going to take them a minute to come back around is trying to figure out how the hell sports look in like 6 to 12 months. Did you all hear about how the some of the conferences petitioned the NCAA to kind of like ease up on some stuff? Like, there's some hurt all around. Like, shit is on its head.
I mean, UC got rid of their soccer team because of this. Yeah. Like, UC soccer is just done, which is crazy to me. How are you getting rid of a sport during a time when you're not spending any money on sports? Like the university is there's no cost.
Sport.
Well, but it's not even that. It's they got $0 from their basketball team this year.
So that's what it was.
Like,
the March Madness payouts didn't come through, so they couldn't afford. Right. But why would you go soccer? Like, men's soccer doesn't seem like the place to start cutting.
I mean, that's probably their lowest income.
Is it though? Like lower than like
be a D1 sport and Title IX?
But is that lower than like cross country? Is that lower than like men's golf?
How much does it cost to fund cross country? You buy a couple pairs of shoes and you say go run outside.
That's a fair point. That's a good point.
But soccer is a couple pairs
on top of it, you don't have to ship any equipment. If you go to meet, you go, all right, guys, so we're going to leave on Monday. We're going to run to Columbus on Tuesday. Then we're going to run to Toledo on Wednesday. And then we're up in Michigan for our meet on Friday. Like, it's simple. It's just simple math, man.
Guys, we're not even paying for a bus. You're going to just run.
Exactly. Yeah.
We'll meet you there.
Matt Barr pointing out that Vince's net worth went from $3.3 billion down to $1.9 billion, which is likely why you got to fold.
They lost a lot of money.
But that's because you got to spend.
Bullshit. That's because the market's in the crapper right
now.
No,
it's because you got to spend all that money to pay Florida to deem wrestling an essential service. That's what it is. That's where that $2+ billion went to.
And he also just laid off like 30 wrestlers today.
Yeah, in NXT, right?
At all levels.
Oh, it was all levels. I thought it was just NXT wrestlers.
Nah, he got rid of at all levels. Basically, if you weren't a big name, you pretty much got the axe.
And let's face it, WWE, so there's like 2 big names now, so might as well lay them all off anyway.
I assume Vince would have pulled some shit and had them as independent contractors.
Yeah, I'm surprised he didn't.
Well, then they could, if they were independent contractors, they wouldn't have to show up if they didn't want to.
Bring the Attitude Bearer back. I don't care about any of the rest of it.
Shoot. So wait, who's airing all the throwback like WrestleManias and shit from like back in the 90s?
I think ESPN was doing that.
ESPN had one, and Fox Sports is doing a lot of them. And they'll have like guys doing this over the WWE, like WrestleMania or stuff like that.
How do we not get that gig? I'd do that. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'd do it.
What are you doing, Mike? You're gonna wrestle?
No, I would do this over a wrestling event, like me reacting to
It'd be all
wrestling.
new to you.
Yeah, I'd be like, "Whoa, did you see that shit? That was crazy." I at least wouldn't be racist like Jerry Lawler.
That's not his biggest issue, to be fair. Racism isn't the biggest issue with Jerry Lawler.
When that went like viral this week, where they were like, "Oh, Jerry Lawler was racist," and he called it a ramen noodle, and that's a racist thing to say. I was like, you guys just meet Jerry Lawler? This dude's been rapey since I was like 10.
I was just gonna say, him and Pete Rose hang out together, like they're best friends. So the racism thing is no big deal.
Yeah, see, Scott's got my back. He's saying they're independent contractors, and Scott knows more than we do.
That's a good point. Scott is the official fact checker.
I do know everything. You're right.
Damn, that backfired.
Yeah, got to remember, there's more than one.
So let me ask you guys this about the XFL. Are you guys going to miss the games more or the beer snakes? Joe Hall brought up the beer snakes in the chat. Which one are you going to miss more? Because I got to be honest, I didn't really watch. Like, I would watch the games occasionally if I'd turn it on, if I remembered, but I would always check to see what that DC beer snake looked like on Twitter. Like, I was always pumped to see what that one looked like. I'm going to miss that. I'm going to miss you most of all, beer snake.
Yeah, Beer Snake is definitely one of the biggest winners from the whole XFL experience. There was no he hate me this time around, but I thought the product was good. So not great, but I mean I thought it had legs. I thought this can sustain itself, but money wasn't there. So
I mean, it was better than the other shit on air at the time too, right?
Easily.
I mean, I don't know. Golf was on, so you know.
Yeah, but Tiger wasn't playing, so who cares?
Bingo.
The Masters on Sunday. Again.
Again.
I was gonna say, did they sim it? Or?
No, they did. Augusta did release 43 minutes of just like scenery shots, and it's the most peaceful thing I've ever seen in my life. It made me miss golf so much.
So can you still go out and play golf though? Because I thought courses in Ohio were still open.
Yeah, they're
You
open.
can still play.
Yep.
So put your money where your mouth is, Mike. Get out there on the links.
Shit, I got kids,
I
man.
asked him about this.
Yeah.
Excuse right there. I got kids.
I went out and played 2 weeks
You
ago.
also got a wife.
I do have a wife. Exactly. I have a wife and I have kids, and there are times when it's like,
Hi, Alex.
when it's like, hey babe, I'm gonna go play golf. Oh really? Didn't you just do a podcast 2 nights ago? Oh yeah. Well, I guess I'll just stick with the podcast then.
I'm gonna go in here and play with my kids. I was just kidding.
Wait a minute. Why don't you take your kids to play golf with you?
Nah, I don't want to deal with that. Come on, man.
You got Jude hitting off a tee. Anyways, moving on.
Yeah, where JB is checked out at the golf.
Yeah, right. So about that NFL draft.
Actually, let's go ahead and shout out our sponsor. Let me hit the music here. And we want to give a big thanks to More Labs. If you guys are drinking as much as we are, especially during this lockdown where everybody's drinking, everybody's struggling, go to morelabs.com, use the code SPORTS, get 20% off your entire order. That's all you got to do. Just use that code SPORTS to get 20% off your entire order. They have stuff to help you go to sleep. They got stuff to help you focus. They got stuff to help you avoid a hangover.
Endorsement. Stuff to make you go to sleep.
It really is. They got a new product that makes you go to sleep. It helps you drift off.
That makes you go to sleep too.
I do too. Well, oh wait.
And they got stuff to help you recover from that stuff too.
Well, all right. Thanks, More Labs.
Hit them up, morelabs.com. Use the code SPORTS, and you will get 20% off your entire order.
Real quick, did you hear the big news about More Labs though?
Yeah, they're in like a ton of stores now.
10,000 stores all of a sudden. So
yeah,
that's big.
But you should probably go to morelabs.com and use the code SPORTS.
You should.
Like that's definitely the safer way to get it. No contact.
Oh, absolutely, totally safer. I'm just saying, if you feel like you need to get it immediately, try it out, then subscribe to their monthly subscription service where you don't even have to do anything using the promo code SPORTS.
Yeah, except you can't get the promo code at the store, so you want 20% off.
Shut up. Don't out us, man. It's a secret.
Todd
Just
Gurley
put it-
turned 21 in Atlanta. Deion Sanders told him not to. What do you guys think about that?
Did
Huh?
you? Okay, wait. Did you
I
dig
don't even
into
know if
this
I
at all?
buy it.
Gurley, right? That's where I'm wondering. So the story is that Gurley said he's changing his number to 21, and he said that Deion told him not to wear it. And I also doubt this, Scott. I'm with you on that one. I don't know if I fully buy that Deion even told him that in the first place. Deion's walked it back, and he's like, "No, I was just joking." But I mean, this is weird. I hate this kind of shit. By the way, when it comes to like people. Like, I just think of Brandon Phillips whining about the Reds giving away number 4, and it just drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you're in a position to have a jersey like that where, nobody wants or nobody will wear the number, the team won't give out the number, you're probably not the same dude who's going to whine. So the idea of Deion Sanders, if he did say this, who spent, 5 minutes in Atlanta, it's not like 21 is hollowed in Atlanta because of Deion Sanders. I mean, come on. If he did say something like that, which it's probable that he did, he's ridiculous. But the fact that Gurley even mentioned it, I don't know. Is he trying to get jersey sales? I chuckled the other day when it was like, he's 26 or something like that, and already got released after signing that big contract. Man, running backs, what a bitch ass job.
See, and that's the thing. I saw this news alert or whatever, and I go, "What is Todd Gurley doing in Atlanta?" And then I was like, "Oh, right, all right, he got cut because he ain't any good anymore." So, cool. I mean,
yeah, it's a really weird thing. It was one of those. This wouldn't be newsworthy if sports was going on, but man, even when there's not sports going on, I don't care about this.
NFL still
don't send me
rules,
a
man.
push alert for this.
So here's the other thing about this too. It's not like nobody's worn 21 in Atlanta since Deion left. Like, there have been plenty of people who have worn number 21 in the first place. So I don't even know why this even came up. Like, why would you even ask Deion Sanders if you could wear 21? Like, that's the other thing that I don't know. And let's say this whole conversation did take place. Why would Gurley even go up to Deion and be like, "Listen, man, can I wear 21?"
Well, that's social distancing, so he didn't go up to him.
That's a good point. He's not Dak Prescott.
I say, yeah, he's
That's
not
why
Des
Atlanta
Bryant.
has COVID. Damn it, Gurley.
Desmond
Or give me
Trufant.
Deion.
Desmond Trufant wore number 21 in Atlanta. There you go. JB saying most replaceable position in sports is the running back. So with that being said, what do you guys think about the Panthers paying McCaffrey what they're doing? Like, they paid a shitload for him.
He is their offense right now. They got no quarterback. They got no wide receivers. He is their off. Shit, he may be their quarterback. I mean, given all this lockdown time, you can't tell me he can't learn how to call signals and throw a ball like 10, 15
To
yards downfield.
himself.
Yeah, he can do that too.
Oh.
They're just gonna,
he's still in Panthers from Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna they're gonna do the Wildcat with a white boy. This is gonna be the most amazing thing ever. Like that's the best part, is that nobody's giving money to running backs, and the Panthers, a Southern team, just made sure that a white dude who plays a black position is the highest paid in the sports history. That's just America, baby. I love it. I hope he gets one of those checks that has the president's signature on it for his troubles.
So you said that you being back gives us no street cred.
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, I could still point out that he's white.
I was gonna say, but I can't say that.
I mean, you can point out that he's white. It's the number one thing I notice about him.
Robert Taylor pointing out that Teddy Bridgewater is good. So when you have Bridgewater mixed with McCaffrey, that's a pretty solid offense. And then Dan chiming in saying that McCaffrey is a wide receiver / running back. So it doesn't matter, and that's why.
He also had to throw in the mention that he'll be starting for Michigan.
Of course, I was gonna leave that off. It's on the feed,
but I mean, it comes
shit.
with Dan.
People can see it.
Last good Michigan quarterback since Tom Brady, and even he wasn't good in college.
What about shoelaces? Shoelaces.
Who?
No, first
ran
of
all
all,
over Notre Dame's defense, who couldn't tackle anyone anyway. So like, I don't even give a shit about this.
Shoelaces holds a special place in my heart. You want to know why? Because he was the last person on the cover of NCAA football.
Oh, that's a good point.
He was
Yeah.
the last person to ever be on
fair.
the cover of NCAA football.
That's a very good
He has
point.
a special place for me.
I do miss that. Oh, that's a good point. All right,
How
so
bad does it have to get for the NCAA to allow that to come back just to pay for like men's soccer and track and field again?
they don't give a shit about that. It would be one thing if like schools were shutting down their basketball programs or their football programs, but they're not. They're like, oh, we don't have to deal with a soccer tournament next year. Great, fantastic, more money for us.
Robert Taylor made a Mahomes reference in the comment section, so I just thought I'd be like, Anyway.
Robert Taylor is all excited about that doctor that said the Niners losing the Super Bowl probably helped delay the spread of coronavirus, because it was like it was in San Francisco at that time, and had they had a Super Bowl parade, there would have been so many people around that it would have likely spread the virus way faster in San Francisco. So it was good that they didn't win, so that they didn't have a parade, and the parade was in Kansas City instead. It was the weirdest thing I've ever read. And Robert Taylor's like, see, Mahomes is Jesus.
Moving on.
Yeah, like, come on, Joe, man. You're usually like right on point with this.
Joe is checked out. He's not even listening to
Was
us
Joe
anymore.
checked in? Like,
I'm here. Doing my thing. Usually you just can't see me.
All right, Joe,
Sure.
I want to let's try to engage you again with this new game I want to play. So speaking of Atlanta, there's been some new uniform redesigns that are coming out. The Falcons, Buccaneers, Browns all going with new looks. The Rams, Colts, possibly the Patriots are revamping logos. So what I want to do right now is I'm going to show you guys some logos and uniforms, and we are going to decide fire or dumpster fire, because that's how this rolls here in Corona Land. When there's no sports to go on, this is what we get to talk about. So let's
We got a fashion show. All right.
right.
dude, I've tried to get you to talk about IRL racing, man. All right, there's sports going on. You just don't want to respect it. Ass.
First up is the Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers unveiled their new logo a while back. It's got a lightning bolt coming off the A. Powder blue, that's the big thing here. The Chargers referencing back to powder blue. So, Joe, let's start with you. Fire or dumpster fire on the Los Angeles Chargers logo?
I can only go either or.
Yeah, either or. Fire or dumpster fire?
I guess fire then. Terrible.
It isn't bad.
So,
the A is
guess
weird,
fire.
though. The A is weird. Scott, Drew, you guys agree? Fire?
I don't know. It's just a logo. Like,
No, this is the funniest of all of them, because I heard commentary for each one of them except for the Chargers, and it was like, I thought to myself, well, it's because nobody cares about the Chargers. They're like, oh, look, they still wear powder blue? Whatever. Nobody gives a shit.
And that's all
Who's
anybody
wearing those
cares about.
jerseys anyway. It doesn't matter what they look like.
That's all anybody cares about, is that they're powder blue. Like that's all I care about. Is it's like, all right, cool, they're gonna have powder blue unis. That's then well done, Los Angeles Chargers.
Just every year, give me the go Chargers go and get out of my way. Like, I don't need anything else with the Chargers.
I cannot stand that damn song. Let me tell you, I've had enough of that
No,
shit.
I just mean the clip from Arnold Schwarzenegger when he was governor saying it. That's all I want. Is him just go Chargers go, and it was awkward as shit. Other than that, the Chargers mean nothing to me. LaDainian Tomlinson retired years ago, so
Let's go to the other LA team then, the Rams. The Rams, they have their LA logo with the ram horn. Looks like a weird circle. Scott, fire or dumpster fire?
dumpster fire, but I love it because
This shit is hot.
the Rams fans got so pissed and signed a petition, and then the owner came out and was like, "Thanks for your signatures. We ain't changing shit." And I think this logo is awful. This looks like something on a Los Angeles morning talk show.
But dude, that's the best part. This logo is so LA.
The best
So
part is
Los Angeles.
I get to see it 2 times a year and laugh at all the fans of the damn Rams.
It is bad, but it is not as bad as their secondary logo. And JB calling it out in the chat, asking, "Where is the penis ram?" Right here. There's the penis ram. Their weird logo that even Eric Dickerson was like, "This is so terrible. We got to get rid of this." Pointing out
Maybe
that
if I watch the games, I don't know.
They're gonna be so bad this year. They're gonna be unwatchable. They're gonna be boring.
No, there's going to be
like
at least 2
500.
games that I watch them, and I'm happy to watch them.
Well, yeah, because those are 2 dubs right there for you, right? That's why you want to watch them.
right. But I was told I don't watch the game, so I don't know. Maybe I don't.
fellas, are we all in agreement? Rams, dumpster fire.
Dumpster fire.
Dumpster
No,
fire.
I like them.
You like them?
Are you guys? Why
What?
the hell not?
All right. Well, Mookie, the lone holdout. Let's go to the.
Getting voted off.
Let's
That's
flip
fine.
over.
I got my shipment of beer. It's all good.
Son of a bitch.
Let's flip over to Indy. Indianapolis just released a new secondary logo where they have, it's like the C, but it's kind of the horseshoe on its side, but then they have the cutout of the state of Indiana within it. It's a secondary logo. It's not going to be their main logo. Drew, is this fire or dumpster fire?
I mean, this is one of the ugliest looking logos I've ever seen, but I love that they ripped off a high school and just said, "What are you gonna do about it?"
Yep. Let's show that side by side. Indianapolis Cathedral Irish have the same logo. The coach who designed it tweeted out like, "Hey Colts, thanks for stealing our logo." He pointed out that the Indy Cathedral has won the Indiana state title like 12 times, with most of those happening.
cares?
Well, most of those have happened within Lucas Oil Stadium. So his point was the Colts are clearly aware of our logo, and they totally just jacked it. Did the Colts steal this logo?
You know who else is aware of your logo? High school team, a real school a little bit north of y'all called, us Fighting Irish. So who are you to talk? Stealing the shamrock, stealing the theme. Just shut up and go back to your
Who?
pass.
Who?
Scott, we know you don't watch college sports. It's fine.
Wait, no, I know, but you said something about some program up north. I'm like, wait, when did they matter recently?
Notre Dame's been in the playoffs before Michigan has. That's for damn sure.
I don't care about Michigan. I just wondered who you were talking about. That's all.
The Notre Dame Fighting Irish. They're north of this place. I drive by them every time I go to South Bend. My
Oh,
bad.
okay, cool. As far as this logo go, this is trash. But since you didn't tell me that it was an alternate logo, I thought this was going to be some type of main thing that got seen. So it's an alternate logo. But if you're going alternate logo, why don't you go big? I want Jim Irsay falling out of the car with pills, like as my alternate logo. Like that would not only be not stealing anything, it'd be really sweet. You'd have the fans that like alternate logos, like, yeah, you guys really need to rock that Jim Irsay falling out of the car with pills logo more often. That's the gear I want. So I mean, they had a perfectly good option there, and they surpassed it to steal something from a high school. Like, come on, Colts.
Scott, if you squint enough, like that middle of the C kind of looks like a Percocet bottle.
It is
So
kind
maybe
of
it's one of
similar.
those like 3D image things. You really got to like stretch for it. What I want to hear though is I want to hear why there's 7 dots in the thing, because some dumbass graphic designer probably was like, "Oh, this is really deep symbolism and it means a lot." And here, let me explain this to you as they pitch their design. And Ursay was probably like, "Dude, like I need to get back to the bar. Like let's get out of here now."
I was more thinking that the way that they were getting around the copywriter saying that they copied was they did a half-assed job of actually getting the state outline of the state, so they could be like, "Well, see, we just got fine edges here, and so it's not really copying." And I'm like, if you're gonna copy, at least get the state shaped correctly. Like you got this half-assed boot. It looks weird.
I bet you that they're trying to go, you're right, artsy, that it's supposed to be a horseshoe, and that's how many nails you put into a horseshoe.
That's absolutely what they're doing.
I
Man.
bet you if they, because
Damn,
they
Joe.
got the whole horseshoe-ish, like not as super block C, but I bet you that's the artsy way
Yep.
of thinking.
I think you're right. Absolutely. Greg says he wants drunk Jim Irsay silhouette with finger guns.
That's
And
Finger guns with pills spilling out his pocket.
Joe, Matt and Matt both agreeing with you. Those were the holes for mounting the horseshoe. So yes, that is exactly what that is. Way to go, Joe.
How
all right.
the hell do you guys know this?
Listen, man, I'm smart.
Joe's over there just quietly Googling while everybody else is talking.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Loudbeer's got it. 7 dots equals 7 pills before Jim Irsay snorts a line. Now we've gotten to the real bottom of it. They can use the horseshoe thing as a cover, but we know the real reason. Thank you, Loudbeard, for nailing that down.
All right,
he went to the subreddit for the Colts alternate logo. Found that out.
All right, let's get into the uniforms because we do have 3 uniforms that have so far been revealed. Obviously, the Chargers and the Rams are going to be unveiling uniforms at some point down the road, so we'll come back to fire or dumpster fire for those. But let's go into what has been revealed so far. So let's start where this conversation started in Atlanta. The Falcons have unveiled new uniforms. They've got the ATL on the front instead of Atlanta. It actually just says ATL. Kind of a silhouette in numbers. On the red and black, it's a white number with a red or black silhouette. The white jersey has a black number with a red silhouette.
These are so god awful.
I love how Mike's describing these in such detail, and it's not in the show notes. So he's like practiced and like really tried.
No, I'm looking at the
details.
picture, dude. I'm staring at the picture.
Words like silhouette, and you're highlighting the key features of them all.
No,
like,
actually, what I did was
tell your family you were pooping in the bathroom to study this.
before this
These
show.
jerseys are terrible.
Before this show, I was like, by the way, remember, Mike, there are people that just listen to this and not watch it. So don't just put up the picture and talk about, like, you got to describe it for the people who only listen to it on the podcast. So yeah, I did keep that in mind as I was going through this. Anyways, they're terrible, right?
Fine. Let's talk about this picture though. Let's talk about Matt Ryan.
Dude, yes, yes. Why is Matt Ryan one of your models on this? He is the least intimidating dude ever.
Dude, he's trying so hard to hold it apart.
If you're going to have Matt Ryan, it would be perfectly fine. He's the quarterback. He's the face of the franchise. But you've got him standing with these 3 dudes, and he's got no muscle definition. And he's just skinny and shit. And look, the optics are so bad. This is like all of the memes for the blacked with the white girl standing there and all the black dudes just looking. Like, this is the NFL version of that. It looks so awkward.
It's just the Adam Sandler version of The Longest Yard. I don't know what you're talking about.
Matt Ryan is standing there. He's like, I brought my black friends. Let's do this.
I think Glenn pointed out too. Glenn shared a meme in the Craft Brewed Sports Facebook group that said the red jersey looks like the FUBU jersey from like back in 2012. Like it's basically the red to black gradient is the FUBU jersey that was out back in the day.
Dude, that's the one I like though. That was the one that I liked. The others are just kind of like, this doesn't look that different.
This is dumpster
I like
fire.
That one.
I don't like the ATL on the front. It's dumpster fire.
I'm waiting for it to permeate over to my team. I'm just crossing my fingers, hoping to God. But I don't understand why every other Atlanta-based sports team has to have the ATL somewhere and prominently featured. It looks so stupid.
It's very weird. I don't like it. Let's go to the other uniform that has been unveiled this week or last week. I don't know when it was. Tampa Bay. Or Tampa Bay? I don't know. Am I pronouncing that right? The Bucks are going back to.
You just copyright infringed. Thanks. The show's gonna get shut down now.
And now the stream dies.
They are going back to their
a bunch of platforms now, so they can't block us on all of them.
You can't kill it all. You might be able to kill it on one.
We got Tom blocked.
They went back to their Super Bowl winning style with the red and the. I got really pissed because I tweeted out that I kind of like the all brown, and a Tampa Bay fan was like, "It's pewter," and I was like, "I refuse to call your uniforms pewter."
Shut the hell up.
Yeah, exactly. It's like when Michigan fans are like, "We're maize and blue." It's like, no, you're blue and yellow, bro. Like, don't try to come at me with this weird ass color.
Don't let Ohio State get away either. They're scarlet and gray. Yeah, you're red and gray. Shut your face.
Red and silver. Your helmets are silver. They're not gray.
Right.
What do you think, Joe?
They're okay.
I mean, well, funny enough, I was gonna say, of course, you picked the ugliest of them all. Like, I'm not. There's very few color rush uniforms in the league that I'm a fan of. These aren't one of them, but I do enjoy that they went back to the not so busy uniforms that they had. The unfortunate part is, I was really excited to see Tom Brady wearing one of those god awful jerseys that they've had the past couple of years.
Yes,
And so
with the
fact
alarm
that
clock numbers.
yeah, so the fact that they went back to the ones that I actually like, as soon as I saw these, I remembered my favorite NFL Boys and Girls Club commercial, the one with Derek Brooks, where he's got them all on the bus and they're all singing, "Who's my favorite player, Mr. Derek Brooks." I loved that Bucks team back then, and so these jerseys, these are awesome. These are fire.
I really want to see Tom in the creamsicle ones, though.
That's
Like,
what
that's
I
what I've
wanted.
been hoping for.
No, because see, I like the creamsicle ones, so that would be a reward for Tom. I wanted Tom to wear the ugly ones that they've worn the past couple years.
Brady's jersey is popping in the New England area too. It's a hot seller. People are like, whatever. We don't even care about the Patriots anymore. We're just gonna support Tampa Bay. We're gonna be a Tampa Bay team now. I think these are fire. I'm gonna call them fire.
Can we ban that phrase now?
No, I refuse to.
No.
I will only refer to this team as Tampa Bay. I will not call them Tampa Bay from now on. It is just Tampa Bay.
What about Tampa Brady?
Oh, Tampa Brady. That's good.
Speaking
That's good, Joe.
Speaking of numbers and issues, you've got Tom, who's rocked number 12 forever, but Chris Godwin is number 12, and I hope Chris Godwin's like, nah, bro, you ain't getting this number up off of me.
All right,
makes
so
Tom change his number.
So Scott was not listening to last week's show when we talked about.
I totally missed that.
Dude, these dudes, they haven't listened to shit since they came off the air. I'm gonna be honest right now.
I listened to. I missed that.
Yes, Godwin gave up number 12 and did it for free for some reason.
You dumb son of a bitch.
Dummy. We talked about what you should ask for. All right, let's.
This is why the whites are the owners and the blacks are the players.
Let's get into moving on. Let's get into the last jersey unveiling. This one just came out today. Joe, I want you to go first on this one. The Cleveland Browns going back to their roots a little bit. Joe, what'd you think of these brown unis?
Well, they got rid of the orangier unis, so that's a good thing.
That's it? That's your take on this? That's your take? You're the Browns fan, and that's your take on these uniforms? You asked.
There's not much you can do with brown and orange and white. I mean, what you can do?
I dig these. I think they are fire, except for the color rush. I hate the color rush.
I have a jersey that looks exactly like that.
Is it from
10 years ago.
I was going to say, is it from 1986? Because that's what I think of when I see this.
Yeah. Well, no, the reason these are fire is because they got rid of, it's like Joe's pointing out, and the orange one, getting rid of that's fine or whatever. Yes, absolutely. This is another color rush that's like, come on, man.
Dude, the color rush is terrible.
It's terrible. But most importantly, what I think it's great that they got much like with the ATL, they got rid of that stupid giant block browns growing across the chest that was completely unnecessary. Like, I love these because it's like, you know what? We're just going to go back to what we've always been and just get back. I love these jerseys. These are the best ones of any of the ones that they've debuted.
I got to be honest. This is the first and probably only time I ever regret not doing show prep. And as we talked about before, Scott, show prep accounts of reading the run sheet, and that's it. Because I'm staring at my orange Brady Quinn Browns jersey that says Browns right on the front. I'm like, shit. Great opportunity here to rock that on this episode and really lean into this. But here's the thing, man. Not that I pay that close attention to what the Browns are wearing. I don't really see anything different here.
Oh, come on.
Oh, dude, they're way different than last year. They're way different.
It's basically they reinvented the jersey from 20 years ago. They got rid of everything.
Right.
They just simplified. I also love. Can we point out how the Browns players are undistinguishable from each other? They've got the shield on. They're all wearing 20. They probably
Hold on a second. What do you mean they're indistinguishable? Tread lightly.
Every other team used their actual players, but the Browns went on the street and were like, "Hey, you come here.
You're ripped."
So you can just find any old muscular dude on the street and put him in a Browns jersey, and it's cool, right? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, isn't that how they fill out the roster after Big Play Baker and Odell?
That's true. I got nothing on that one.
You can't fight me on that one. You try to get me. That's fair, Scott.
Fire no fire, brought to you by Craft My Bookie.
I'm just not used to having somebody fire back. Usually Mike caves when I ask the racial question.
I
He's like, oh shit, bail.
Cave right away.
Or starts to giggle.
Both.
That's his version of cave.
It's both. Fire and Dumpster Fire brought to you by MyBookie. Use the promo code 12ounce sports and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Be sure to tune into all of the gambling shows on 12ounce sports radio and then put that knowledge to practice on MyBookie. Make sure to use the promo code 12ounce sports to get that bonus. You can find their banners and links on every page of the station site at www.12ouncesportsradio.com. That was fun. Fire Dumpster Fire was fun. I like that. We're gonna have to do that for other things.
Mike is still sweating that racial question and was even addressing him.
Loudbeard pointed out Bernie Kosar looked good in those Browns uniforms, and I agree. Bernie Kosar did look good in those Browns uniforms. So did Eric Metcalf.
When you talk really fast, dude. I'm so uncomfortable with racial talk. I'll talk faster. Nobody will notice.
And the best part is he gets red in the face too. And it's not just because he's laughing. It's like you can tell he's nervous.
Hey, Joe, Loudbeard wants to know when the Browns trade Odell. Is he gone? Is he gone before the draft? Did they get rid of Odell before the draft, or is that something that happens at the draft?
We'll see.
Wait, hang on. So the story is they're in talks with Minnesota to trade Odell. Are you going to be extremely disappointed if they trade Odell? Like, that was one of the pieces that Browns fans were like harping on last season, that it was like, this is our year. Here we go. We got Baker, the touchdown maker, and Odell. Here it goes. Like, if you get rid of Odell, are you still all on board?
Well, it depends on what we get in return. I mean,
dude, what if they go just a straight up Stephon Diggs, Odell Beckham swap? No.
That would be hard because Stephon Diggs is in Buffalo. So while you're not paying attention to other things, you might want to know that he's not in Minnesota anymore. Hey, we'll trade you a guy we don't have anymore. What do you say?
That's a pro move, Scott. If they could pull that off, I
mean, the Browns might go.
It'd be impressive.
You know what franchise would go for that move? The Bengals. The Bengals would take that trade. The Bengals would be like, "Fuck yeah, we'll do it. We're in."
But then they'd be saying because they didn't fax it in time.
The Vikings are notorious for that.
Damn, he's in Buffalo. How about that? All right, cool.
All right, so let's do a quick golf story since we talked a little bit about not having the Masters. I won't belabor this too much, JB. I know you hate golf talk, but this is golf kind of. There's a dude in Florida that's suing Tiger Woods and his caddy after he says that the caddy shoved him out of the way after taking a selfie with Tiger in the background 2 years ago. So according to the lawsuit, this dude suffered, quote, bodily and mental injury and resulting pain and suffering, disability, disfigurement, mental anguish, loss of capacity for the enjoyment of life, expenses of hospitalization, medical and nursing care and treatment, loss of ability to earn income, and aggravation of a previously existing condition, end quote. The injuries are also described as permanent or continuing. So he is suing for an unknown amount in Florida.
I'm suing Robert Taylor for all of those things, for all of the things he tried to tag me in while I wasn't on Facebook after the Niners lost in the Super Bowl. Every single one of those bizarre-ass things that I didn't know you could sue for, I'm sending Robert Taylor an invoice in the mail for all of them.
So the way this happened was Tiger hit one like into the gallery. They were like moving people back so the Tiger could take a shot. And apparently this guy tried to take a selfie while Tiger was walking up, and the caddy got pissed and was like, "Get out of the way," and like pushed him and ruined his life apparently with one shove. I didn't know. This caddy is the strongest human being I've ever heard, if any of this is true. Like, this is unreal that you're able to cause this type of damage pushing somebody while carrying a golf bag. This caddy is impressive, fellas. I don't know.
Those golf bags aren't small.
No, they're not small. That's a lot of weight.
Be a little jack.
I love, too, that this happened 2 years ago and the dude's just filing the lawsuit now. This is amazing.
Hold on a second, though. 2 years ago, was that before or after? What was the
before he won the Masters?
No. Was this after the one dude that quit, his famous caddy that ended up writing the book?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
Oh yeah, this is after
or whatever.
This is
they split ways
Dopey.
like
Sleepy.
5, 6, 7 years ago.
Okay, all right. Because I was just gonna say, I was like, because if it was that dude, it'd be a different thing. It'd be like, I got pushed by Tiger Woods' caddy. He wrote a book and everything. He's awesome.
Now this
But if
is
it's just a
Joe
new guy-
LaCava, who is actually in the Caddy Hall of Fame. He is a very well known and well respected caddy.
There's a
And-
Hall of Fame for that.
Well, there's a Hall of Fame for everything. So sure.
Golf Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Hold on.
He's
Do they have
basically
to
like
wait?
a coach.
Do they have to wait 5 years after they stop carrying bags to get inducted?
He's basically the coach.
I mean, sure, but a Hall of Fame.
Dude, caddies, I gotta be honest, caddies are the funniest people that I've ever seen. When I was in high school, we marshaled a tournament for National Honor Society, an LPGA tournament, and this lady,
Oh, hold on, time out. You were in the national. Who the hell let you in the National Honor Society?
bro,
Nerd alert.
I was a genius in high school, and then I
pop up recent palm.
discovered booze, and it all went
You didn't have to
downhill.
do anything to be in the National Honor Society.
You really don't. I was in
It
it.
was like sophomore year then. Huh? I got it.
No, junior and senior year. But anyways, we were marshaling this LPGA tournament in Youngstown. This lady hit a ball into the woods, and I'm looking for it with the caddy. And this dude is just mumbling under his breath. He's like, "This fucking bitch. I'm never gonna make any goddamn money. She can't fucking hit. Oh, it's so." And I'm like, "Okay, well, I think I see it over there. I'm gonna go out into the fairway and hold up my quiet sign again, and just leave you to stew in your own." He was furious. Oh, it's the best. It's the best.
And then he cheated.
All right,
I
good.
meant Mike, because I mean that's how all your golf stories end.
Yeah, Mike was like, "Oh, the ball's
Yeah.
over there. Drop."
Yeah, somehow Mike cheated because I can't end a Mike golf story without. And then I cheated because that's how I roll.
Which still gonna be the best part is Mike cheating consists of him asking the other player for help. I'm like, I got you, bitch.
Oh no, that's his National Honor Society prowess. I mean, don't you know? He's
That's the
getting
genius,
all
bro.
mental with them. He's fucking with their head.
What club do you use there? Oh, I use the Nate Iron. You're not allowed to tell me that. That's a stroke.
Also, by the way, that's the second F-bomb Scott's dropped. We need to play the drop.
All right, yeah, we can do it. Sure,
Nate
why
DeVito
not?
drop.
Sure, let's.
I missed it so much.
Yep. Drew still doesn't know who's in that clip. He has no
I
idea.
know who it is, damn it, but I choose to ignore it.
Wait, hold on. You don't know who's throughout the clip or just the
Oh,
very end?
What's his name? The guy, the last one from Goodfellas.
The guy
Pesci.
from Goodfellas? That's how.
Isn't that Joe Pesci in the
It
last
is
end?
Joe Pesci,
Yeah,
yes.
there you go. But it's just a
Yeah.
really weird thing to say. Oh, the guy from Goodfellas, like his career boiled down to that one time he was in Goodfellas. Come on,
Oh, isn't
man.
that
Well,
drop
what do you want
from
to say? The
Goodfellas?
guy from Home Alone?
Yes.
Is he more famous?
Yeah,
from Home
actually,
Alone or
yes.
Goodfellas? What's he more famous for?
I refuse to accept that as a fact, Joe. You're not wrong, but I refuse to accept
I would
it.
say the guy from Home Alone 2.
Oh God! Oh, this trash.
The
No,
Wet Bandit.
it was so damn commercial. Come
He
on.
was a wet bandit. You're just gonna,
Wet
oh,
bandit.
well, he was that guy in Goodfellas. Like, come on, man.
Oh man. Scott, how excited
I
are you
love all
about?
the Danny DeVito memes this week, where it's been Danny DeVito from Always Sunny going, "May I offer you an egg in these trying times?" One of the
I'm
best.
like, you mean Danny DeVito from Twins?
No,
The same
Danny.
Danny
It's
DeVito?
Danny DeVito from Matilda. Scott, how excited are you?
Penguin.
No, Matilda wins. I almost said Penguin, but I forgot he was Matilda.
Was Matilda hot?
No, she was like 4, dude. That's
We were 10.
no,
No,
she was
no,
way
we
young.
weren't. We were teenagers.
She was way young. She was like that was
She
like
was the little
kindergarten.
girl in Miss Doubtfire, dude.
Yes,
Come on.
yes.
It's like 7.
She
This
was
guy-
super young, you
this-
weirdo.
This took a super Pete Rose turn, and I don't feel comfortable about it.
COVID has really gotten you.
But
dude.
also, do you notice, Scott, how Mike's able to fight through this, but then the racial stuff makes him super uncomfortable?
Oh yeah, he's got no
Moving
problem
on.
talking about the youngin.
Well, moving
Scott,
on.
how excited are you about the Jordan documentary? How pumped are you? We had talked about it when they first announced it was moving up, but it drops on Sunday. Do you have a DVR? Are you ready to go?
I do have a DVR because it's 2020.
I said, do you
but-
have a DVR? Like, are you ready? Is it already set to DVR? That is what I mean. Thank you,
Yeah,
Lodbeard.
I
It did
knew
get weird.
what you meant, but you didn't say it, so just point it out. Yeah, no, of course I'm ready for this. On a scale of 1 to he didn't gamble, he's never gambled.
Oh, shut. I seriously don't believe that. There's no way.
No. I think that was the episode that I listened to the most live, and I tuned in right as you guys were having that conversation. And Cheryl, asked me, did I think that was true, the whole conspiracy theory? And it's one of those weird things that I think both parts are true. I do think that was part of the agreement. He did have a handshake deal, but I also think he wanted to play baseball. So it was just like, okay, cool. Well, we'll just use this and we'll just roll it on to one. Like, I think all parts of it is true, but yeah, there's too many things that line up for the suspension thing not to be true.
Well, like he's still been gambling too. Like even to this day, like there's been recent reports of him dropping thousands of bucks on the golf course. So it's like,
oh yeah, no. I mean, Jordan is one of those degenerate gamblers to his core. He's the one gambling on the NBA horse competitions right now.
Have you guys watched any of that? Have you watched? I mean, Joe, you're the big NBA fan. Joe, have you watched any of the NBA horse competition?
No.
That's bad. That's a bad sign.
I try to watch it, but they're just shooting regular shots.
I think it was Chauncey Billups got an H after missing a left-handed layup. Like, that's how bad this is.
But by the way, my money is on Chauncey to win the whole damn thing.
Did he move on? I didn't even think he moved on.
Yeah, because he beat Trae Young with a straight-up three. Like, straight-up three-pointer, top of the key, drained it. Trae, I don't know what the hell that kid was shooting at, but I think he barely hit backboard, and that was it. And and this is over now.
What's more entertaining at this point? The NBA horse competition, the NBA 2K tournament that's going on, the MLB, the show league that they have playing, or the upcoming EMLS tournament?
iRacing.
The Jordan documentary.
Can we bet on the Jordan documentary? How do we bet on that?
There's got to be a line for it. There's no
got
doubt
to be something, right?
Yeah, they've got to have odds for
something.
What are they gonna? Vegas is looking for stuff too.
Why is it 10 parts? Why does that have to be 10 parts long? That is a ridiculously long documentary. Like the OJ documentary wasn't 10 parts long.
Career.
But
it's only the 90s. It's only focusing on the 90s Bulls.
I was just gonna say, I was like, this is only focusing on the final season, the season that they won against the Jazz, the very last one. Like everybody kept saying, "Oh, they're focusing on his whole career." I'm like, it's not on his whole career.
No, it's like one season long.
One season.
That's why I'm not too sure what to expect from this. Like, I don't know.
I can 100% tell you what to expect. A ton of interviews with Steve Kerr, because of the people that they interviewed, he's the only one who has anything remotely thought-provoking or interesting to say. A bunch of Jordan talking shit, Rodman rambling on, probably drunk, Scottie Pippen saying something boring and ridiculous, and then there's Phil, who, I mean, if he can remember his name, he might have a couple things to say. But overall, like, ever since he went to New York, we know what it is with Phil since then. So, like, that's how it's going to be. It's going to be about 8.5 hours of Steve Kerr talking and giving you insight that you're just like, wow, that's amazing. And then Jordan talking shit, and then the rest of them just kind of being there.
And that's why it's 10 episodes. Who doesn't need 10 episodes of that?
Right.
Joe confirming what Matt Barr commented on the feed, a NASCAR driver dropping the hard R during an iRacing stream. That was cringeworthy.
So I didn't see or hear that, but that's why I love the NBA 2K, because we watched a little bit of this weekend, and it was whoever was playing for the Raptors and the Bucks, because they got like one guy from each team, right?
Right.
And I don't remember who it was, but it was so fun to watch these guys playing video games, clearly taking it very seriously because they're competitive, but also recognizing they're on national TV, and like you can see them physically restraining themselves from saying all the shit they want to say.
See, that's why I don't like it. And that's why I like the MLB tournament and that league, because
the show is pretty good.
It's on Twitch, so there is no FCC regulations. Like the Reds tweeted out Amir Garrett talking so much shit. Here's what Amir Garrett did.
There's FCC, but then there's like you can't drop a hard R even if it's on.
No,
Twitch
that's
anyway.
Right. That's
so, like,
right.
There's still probably some of that.
But there's way more shit talking in the MLB. Amir Garrett ended the game by having his fiance. He had his fiance get the last out in the game to win it, and he was ripping on. Oh my god, it was the greatest. He is so badass.
I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's really good. It's a reminder that if baseball knew what it was doing and could actually
Yes!
promote its players
Yes!
and personalities, that they wouldn't be in the issues that they are now. You're like, oh wait, those are the actual type of people that play baseball. Instead, they'd have you think that it was all just guys named Ethan that couldn't play any other sports, so they settled on baseball, and that's all they
Hey,
have left.
hey,
And guys that can't speak English.
Ethan's really, really good at lacrosse, Scott. Show some respect. All right. He just saw more money in baseball. That's
But
it.
that's what drives me nuts. It's like baseball could, if they have these personalities and they have these guys, like the ones that are playing this, it doesn't
true.
have to necessarily be like, if your biggest names aren't going to do anything other than be robots, then that's fine. But take these guys that are interesting and that have personalities and put them out in front of everybody. They exist.
Amir Garrett fought an entire team. He did not give a shit. He ran over and fought an entire bench, and now is having his fiance get outs in the MLB league. He is the best player in baseball right now, hands down. And yeah, I don't care what anybody says about that. Let's get into last call. This is last call.
Oh, thank God. I got to pee so bad after this 750 milliliters of beer.
Welcome to Craft Brewed Sports.
Right.
An episode of Craft Brewed Sports until you have to pee with about 40 minutes left to go, and I mean bad.
Last call brought to you by Tavor. Just use
Go for it.
use the code 258023 on the payments and credit screen. You can get $10 off your second order after you place one with Tavor. Stock up that beer fridge today. You can't go out and get booze, so why don't you order it from Tavor, 258023 on the payments and credit screen. This week we were drinking Daaang IPA from Zipline Brewing Company. Wow, what a good brew. Agreed?
So good.
It has been a while since I had a really good IPA. I have consumed some Special Lady Friend during the COVID outing, but other than that,
Scott, we don't need what you're doing with your wife.
Whoa, yeah, bro. Hang on.
That's the name of the beer. That's the name of the beer, man. We had it on the show. Come on. It was the one I brought back from DC.
Yeah.
It's a show callback, bro. Anyway, Damn is what they should name this, because this shit's good.
It's a real good brew.
Good.
I like it a lot. I'm a big fan. Joe, how is your Labatt's treating you over there?
Good. He said it like it's such a dad. How's your Labatt's? He put an S on it.
Wait, is there not an S on Labatt's? Am I just now learning?
Bro.
Oh shit. This has been eye-opening, and this is Last Call, brought to you by Tavor. Again, 258023 for $10 off your entire order. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. Next thing I know, you're going to tell me that it's not Kroger's.
You son of a bitch.
You motherfucker, you. Damn it.
Seriously.
Like, Matt Barr told us last week about the Tiffies kind of thing. Kroger's is the same goddamn thing. It's Kroger.
I get so mad when my mom says Kroger's. I've stopped correcting her. It drives me nuts though.
It's not Kroger's. Okay, good. It's not Labatt's. It's not Kroger's. I got it. Thank you, fellas. I appreciate you guys helping me out there.
You white as mayonnaise.
Yes, sir. I will say though, so funny story to Tavor, by the way. Awesome service. So many beers. It's almost overwhelming how many options they have and how quickly they come in with new options. But so I'm getting my first crate in like a week or so because I finally signed up because I don't know. I finally got my shit together. I could not figure out why I wouldn't take my promo code until literally 5 seconds ago when it's off your second order.
Yeah.
Yeah, second.
Yeah. So my dumb ass they're trying to figure out. Oh, I can't wait, dude. And the best part is, boys, turn it off. Put your remote away. Don't let me hear this part. But they charge you every time you add beers. So it's not like you see some massive order for like $250 a beer. Like it sneaks in like $5 here, $10 here. Like you can kind of slide all that in and kind of, slowly increment your crate. And next thing you know, you got 48 beers showing up at your house. She's like, wow, this is so affordable. This is a great call, baby. Like, exactly. We should have done this so long ago. I can't sing the praises of Tavor loud enough. Morelabs.com, same deal. Like, we got some great sponsors with quality products. I tell you what.
Drew?
All right, Mike, you've been voted off.
I was going to say Corporate Drew. If he ever learns how to run this board, I'm screwed.
Don't worry, man. I ain't got enough brain power for that.
You just sold Tavor harder than any of us have sold it in the existence of this show. Like,
Dude,
damn.
they've got like wines they sell and stuff. They're technically beers, but they're like brewed in the
Dude,
style of a wine, and they're like 75 ml bottles of wine and shit. Like,
There's some good
the
stuff.
Breweries right now. And
There's
they're selling those crates of IPAs and shit too to support local breweries across the country. So, folks, sign up for Tavor.com. We're in this together. All those other dumbass catchphrases you're tired of hearing, get on that shit because you're gonna be spending that money anyways on beer. We all need it these days. Do right by everyone.
Drew, thank you. Thank you for closing out the show very strong. I appreciate it.
Thank you for your service.
You're welcome for my service.
Joe,
Make up
Scott,
the tilted thing.
it has been so good to see your faces. Next week, you guys back on next week?
Yeah, I'll make it 2 in a row.
All right, well, that's 1.5. We're gonna count it as 1.5. Thank you guys so much.
Depends on what's on A&E.
Right, Drew's or Joe's sitting there like, I don't know, maybe we'll see. I'm about to get into Sopranos. I don't know. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for sharing out the show. I really appreciate it.
Home Alone 2 with Joe Pesci.
It's been a damn good show. Be sure to like the show on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter at Crafty Sports and Instagram at Crafty Sports. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe, rate, and review wherever you get your podcasts. We're everywhere. Shout out to 12 Ounce Sports Radio. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Cheers, everybody.
Peace. We out.
Yes.
Bye.